if the company allows you to, never use their landing page and make your own. Every single time.
Can you run me through search engine optimization?
Okay. All right, so SEO is one of the most important parts of your online presence that nobody knows anything about, or they think they know something about. So SEO is two components, internal and external. Both are important. And I'll start with the internal side of SEO. So internal is everything within your site. So the meta descriptions, the page titles, the H1 titles, the alt text behind pictures, everything within the components of your site that you can do so that search engines know what your product or service or web page is for. Okay? Optimizing all of those items internally is important. Then you run a couple queries and you see what your product or what your web page is rated at. So you'll see how optimized it is. If you use Alexa, you use any of the analytic portals for SEO out there, will tell you how optimized your website is. Try to get it as close to 100 as you can. Okay? After that, external is the part that people don't always understand. So external SEO is all of the citations and web links and backlinks from the entire web universe that come back to your website, and the authority that all of those websites have coming towards your site. So on a 10,000 foot level, every backlink or citation, which is a URL somewhere else that comes to your site, is a positive backlink that's increasing the authority of your site and making Google trust your site more. Okay? On a lower level, when you get really nitty-gritty, sites that have links to your site each have their own authority. So if a site has high authority and they link to your site, then your site's going to get more trustability factor, I call it, and they're going to move up organic rankings higher. So what does that mean? How do you do that? Well, for most businesses, building as many business directories and being on as many platforms as possible is the first step. Because a business directory that has a link to your site is a citation to your site. That's on a base level. Okay, that's on a base level of what you can do. On a high level, then it's about having other people to write about your product and bring people to your page. So there's bloggers out there that might want to write about your product. There's news agencies that might want to write about your product or service. If you're in the news, if you're in any platform that's coming back to your site, you're gaining that traction and you're gaining the authority that's going to push you up over time. The last thing about SEO is it is about being and creating this credibility over a long period of time. So it's not necessarily about creating 20,000 backlinks this month. It's about showing positive results over a long period of time. So don't go out and do everything all at once. Go out and do it all at once, but then realize that you have to keep improving. Because if you don't, and if you don't keep making improvements, then your site's going to get deranked over time, and someone who's making continual improvements is going to move up.
Okay, so through my CRM, I make landing pages.
Yeah.
I can make up to 100 landing pages.
Yeah.
Within those landing pages, I can go to GoDaddy, buy a URL, buy a website, so I can link back.
Yeah, you're never going to get them up the rankings.
Well, yeah. So you're saying, let's say I have one. Let's say I'm doing one campaign, I got one URL, and this is where I'm directing traffic, and it's migrating through other websites. Like what I'll do is I'll contact a business, and we'll do a business share. You give me a URL, I'll put it on my site. I'll give you mine, we'll put it on your site.
Yeah.
Share business. So it's not necessarily how many different URLs are migrating into the www.world. I can use the same one as long as that one's migrating through 1,000 spots. Does it have to be a bunch of different URLs? Or if I have one really good landing page that's migrating frequently through a lot of different spots, that will help me.
Well, you can have 1,000 landing pages, but you'd have to start building backlinks to every single landing page to appear in organic results.
Right.
So it's a lot of work. So typically with one person's time, you're going to focus on one URL and one website.
Okay.
So even for us, at a base level for the jaredvandermeer.com website, we only build citations for the homepage. We don't build for the video page, we don't build for the podcast page, we don't build for any of the pages because we just don't physically have the time. So we're only building to the main homepage of the site. Now eventually if that page starts to go up and we can still do a little bit, then we'll focus our attention on another URL. But each URL, each individual URL maintains its own authority. So jaredvandermeer.com has an authority, okay? But if I have Jared Vandermeer or Jared_Vandermeer.com, then that URL would have to have a different authority. So each landing page, each domain you buy, you have to do a different amount of, you have to put in the same amount of SEO time into each of them to get them to move up rankings.
Unless I can get that one linked back to the original jaredvandermeer.com. Like, so within that URL, if I bring it back to the home page, then I'm
You're creating a backlink for the home page, but it'll be a low value backlink because that page has no authority because you just started it. And there's a whole bunch of other factors. Like here's an easy one that nobody knows. The longer you've purchased your domain for, the more Google will trust that domain. So if you buy your domain and roll it over every year, then you've only purchased that domain for 1 year. So Google looks at that domain and says, okay, they could stop this website at any time in comparison to buying the domain for 10 years. So if you have a domain you know you're going to use for 10 years, buy it for 10 years. That's a small tip that nobody knows about, but makes a difference.
okay. Thank you.
What else? Anything else on this side of the room? No, back here. Yes.
So, like in our case, like we're, we do a lot of business through our company, through the company we partner with. So, like I don't see. So I just that's the kind of question. I don't see value in building a website for myself. I certainly see value in building a landing page where I can capture information, so I get that in case something happened with my company, they close or whatsoever, and I move on with another opportunity. So like, is that like, would you, if you'd be in a situation, would you try to build that SEO of just that landing page? Or because I see more my business by working on different social media, because that's how I want to drive my business, and building those profiles, let's say on Facebook, on Instagram, and all the platform, YouTube and so on, and put more times on building that presence versus building a good SEO on my landing page that eventually I'll drive traffic through that, but I don't see the value of people finding me just that landing page by Googling it or so.
All right, so this is important for a lot of people in the room, and this applies to a lot of industries, okay? So you're selling Company X's product. They provide you with a landing page, companyx.com/your landing page. Every backlink you make to that landing page provides authority to that page, but also to their website, okay? They want you to use their landing page because it helps them tremendously, okay? But if it's allowed, if the company allows you to, never use their landing page and make your own, every single time. So companyx.com is here. Then you do companyx.com, yourcompany.com, and you put all your backlinks to here. And sure, your links are going to go to that site for their products, but you want it to be on your specific domain. That way, all the effort you put in is building authority for your site, not for theirs. The chances that you take companyx.com/yourcompany to high in organic rankings would be so hard. You could do it, but you would dedicate 3 years of your life to building backlinks and contacting everyone to try to build the authority on that one single page. In comparison to having your own landing page, having all the same keywords relating to the product, we've seen it a couple times where you can build your landing page onto the home page or the first page of results that you're with the company you're working for, just below them or below that, second or third on that page. So always, if you can, build your own landing page that isn't attached to the main company you're working with.
Okay, so if I build my own landing page, I get that. But if I have to put times on building SEO on that versus developing my profile on different social media, where would you say you would put more time?
Okay, one person's time has to go 80% into one platform. Whatever platform that is that relates most to the product you're selling. Okay, then you have 20% to dedicate to something else, and that's of the component that you're dedicating to online. So let's say you dedicate 6 hours a day to shaking hands and doing regular work, and 2 hours to your online presence, doing social. Well, of that 2 hours, 80% is going to be dedicated to one platform, and then 20% is going to be put out into everything else. So if SEO is not number one and you're focusing only on Instagram, put 80% into Instagram. Then of that day, do 10% into SEO, and then 10% in taking your Instagram content and morphing it to be native on the other platforms that you're posting on. SEO is very, very important for specific businesses in comparison to social. But even more than that, for dropshipping businesses, anything where you're looking to just push a product out, you want to make sure that your SEO is very high, because if someone's looking for that product, the timing's right and they're going to buy it. And running Instagram ads and Facebook ads, unless it is a trendy product, they might not buy it. They might just see it and then wait for when they actually need it. So you capture ROI easier if you go to platforms that have an immediate buy, things like Google. If I search need socks on Amazon and an ad comes up that's not Amazon, then I might click on that ad and buy socks through a new sock company. That's why Amazon puts ads on all of their searches, because they want to be the top on all their searches. They don't want my money to go somewhere else. So for you, if you're selling a product, you want to be on Google Ads, you want to be doing search engine ads at the top of when someone needs the product and they search for it, you're the first one that comes up. Then underneath that, if you're selling a local service, there's the map section. And if you can, you want to be in the top 3, the Google Golden 3, we call it, of the map section. And then if you can, you want to be on the home page of search results, which means you're seen three times on that search. Ad, maps, organic search. 3 times means they see your product 3 times, you're 3 times more credible than everyone else, and they're probably going to pick your product. You've given yourself the best chance under that search. Again, a lot of effort to get there, but you have to decide where to go after it. And that applies to insurance, right? When someone's searching for insurance, you can, even if you have to use the company's landing page, you can run ads to that landing page and be the one that shows up in results.